Hello everyone, my name is Prajakta Dhake. I am from Department of Zoology, KTHM College, Nashik. Today I'll be taking your paper 3, which is Zoology Practicals, and the practical that we are going to study is the external morphology and life cycle of Bombyx murray, which is also referred to as the silk moth. Okay, now let's begin with what is sericulture. So basically, the rearing of silkworm for the production of raw silk is known as the sericulture, and now it is emerging as a commercial industry throughout India and throughout many other parts of the world. Now, there are different species of silk moths that are used for the production of silk, some of which are so basically these species belong to two families, and these two families are Bombycidae. Bombycidae, only one member from Bombycidae, that is Bombyx murray, and the other members belong to Saturnidae, family Saturnidae. So there are various species or there are various silkworms belonging to Saturnidae, some of which are Antheria yamamai, which is Japanese silk or Japanese oak silk moth. Then you have Antheria perennii, which is Chinese oak silkworm or silk moth. Then you have Antheria asama, which is also referred to as Muga silk moth. Then you have Antheria parfia, which is also referred to as Tussar silk moth. And then we have Attacus resini, which is castor silk moth. Okay, so let's begin with our favorite or our topic for today's practical, which is Bombyx murray. So here we are going to see two things. First is external morphology of Bombyx murray, which is a silk moth, and the other one that we are going to study is the life cycle of Bombyx murray. Here in this particular picture you can see the male and the female. Let's see how does or what is the external morphology of this particular insect. Now the adult moth of Bombyx murray is going to be about 25 or 25 millimeter long with a wingspan of 40 to 50 millimeter from side to side. Okay, the male silk moths are smaller in size than females. If you see in the diagram, it is clearly seen. The moth is quite robust and creamy white in color. The body is distinctly divisible into three regions, right, which is head, thorax and abdomen. Now the head possesses smaller antenna and mouth parts along with the long proboscis. The thorax is three segmented and it bears three pair of legs, which are five segmented each, and it also has two pair of wings, the mesothoracic and metathoracic. Okay, the front pair of the wings overlap the hind pair when the moth is in the resting position. The cream colored wings are about 25 long and are marked by several faint or brown lines. In the male, 8 abdominal segments are visible, whereas in female 7 are seen. There are 6 pairs of spiracles present laterally on either side of the body. The function of spiracles is for respiration. Okay, so the gaseous exchange or the air or the oxygen or the air is going to enter through the spiracle into the body of insects. Okay, now the female has comparatively flatter and larger abdomen. At the caudal end, the male moth has a pair of hooks known as harpies, whereas the female moth has a knob-like projection with the sensory hairs. The female is generally less active than male. the entire body of both male and female is covered by means of minute scales. Hence, they are placed under order Lepidoptera. Okay, so now let's begin with the life cycle of these organisms. These are holometabolous organisms. Okay, holometabolous मतलब क्या? Holometabolous is complete life cycle. Okay, or it has all the four stages present in its development, which is egg, larva, pupa, and the adult. Okay, now let's begin with the egg. Now, before going to the egg, the silk moth is a dioecious organism. That means that the sexes are separate. Okay, the fertilization is going to be internal, which will be generally after the copulation. Silkworms pass through a complete metamorphosis, that is why they are referred to as holometabolous insects. That is they have life stages from egg to adult, and through intermediate stages of larva, which is the larva of Bombyx murray is also referred to as a caterpillar, and then you also have a cocoon, silken cocoon, from which we are going to draw the silk. Okay, let's begin with the egg. Now, the silkworm or the silk moth, not the worm, the silk moth, the female is going to lay near about 300 to 400 small subspherical yellowish eggs, either in a tree, either in a free or agglutinated conditions. The eggs are tiny and weigh around 2000 eggs in a gram. They measure about 1 to 1.3 mm in length and 0.9 to 1.2 millimeters in width. Okay, after laying the eggs, the female dies within 4 to 5 days, as they do not feed and are exhausted by the process of egg laying. Okay, so now moving on to the next part. Now, during incubation and embryonic development, the color of the egg changes from yellow to brown, and then it turns to grey, and day by day they become dry and hard. The optimum temperature that is required for hatching is going to be near about 18 to 24 degrees Celsius. Okay, and they will hatch within a period of 7 to 10 days. Otherwise, it may happen that the period of hatching increases depending upon the temperature. Okay, so there are two types of eggs that will be seen in Bombyx murray. The first type of eggs are hibernating eggs. Now, hibernating eggs are deposited in the spring, which undergo a diapause. Okay, they are not going to move further in the development, they are going to undergo a diapause, and then they are going to hatch out in the next spring. So, diapause is nothing but a break. Okay, so they are going to hatch out in the next spring. Then you have second type of eggs, which are referred to as non-hibernating eggs. These are derived from successive generations without any pause in a year. So these are the eggs which are not going to undergo any kind of hibernation, or which are not going to enter any kind of the diapause. These eggs are referred to as non-hibernating eggs. Now, the eggs contain large amount of, or not large but good amount of yolk, and are covered by smooth hard chitinous shell. From the egg hatches out a larva called as caterpillar. Now let's move on to the larval portion. So already mentioned, eggs hatches into a tiny black to brown colored caterpillar. The eggs when first laid are bright yellow. Okay, at summer temperatures the eggs hatch in 10 days. On completion of the development, the newly hatched caterpillar is formed. The caterpillar is going to have large head, and the body is rough, wrinkled, and densely covered with bristles, so that it looks like a hairy caterpillar and is pleopod type. Now this caterpillar measures up to 4 to 6 millimeters in length. The full grown larva is going to be of 6 to 8 centimeters in length, and the body of this larva is going to be dark, and rough body will be there, wrinkled grayish dull color, and it is going to be thick like that of the our thumb jitna thick hota hai, that much thick it is going to be. Okay, so now the the body of larva is divisible as a prominent head. Okay, it is going to have a prominent head. It is then the next part is going to be distinctly segmented thorax and elongated next portion is elongated abdomen. The head is going to bear um, mandibulate mouthparts and 3 pairs of ocelli. A distinct hook-like structure, the spinneret, is present for extrusion of silk from the silk gland. Okay, uh, the thorax forms the hump and consists of 3 segments. Each of the 3 segments bear pair of jointed true legs. The tip of each leg has a recurved hook for locomotion and ingestion of leaves. The abdomen consists of 10 segments, of which first 9 are clearly marked, while the 10th one is indistinct. The third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and um, ninth abdominal segment bear a pair of unjointed stumpy appendages each. These are referred to as prolegs or pseudolegs. Each leg is retractile and more or less cylindrical. The eighth segment carries a short dorsal anal horn. A series of respiratory spiracles or ostia are present on either lateral side of the abdomen. Now, the abdomen is going to be a voracious feeder and it is strongly gregarious. In the beginning, chopped young mulberry leaves are given as food, but on advancement of the age, entire and mature leaves are provided as the food. The caterpillar moves in a characteristic looping manner. The larval life lasts for near about 3 to 4 weeks, which is 30 to 40 days, or say 27 days. Um, it goes through 5 growth stages or instar during this life time. During the first molt or during the first molting, the silkworm sheds its hairs and gains a smooth skin. Now, after each molt, the larva is going to grow rapidly. A full grown larva, as already mentioned, is near about 8 centimeters and becomes transparent and golden brown in appearance. A long sac like silk glands now develop into the lateral side of the uh, body from inside. These are called as modified salivary glands. The little caterpillar immediately after hatching begins to consume near about 30,000 times its own weight of mulberry leaves and grows rapidly. Okay, so after passing through 4 molds, last fifth instar attains the maximum size and has developed the salivary glands completely. Now let's move on to the next thing, which is pupa. Okay, the full grown larva, which is the fifth instar larva, now it is going to stop feeding and it becomes restless, and if given a suitable place such as dried bushy plants or bamboo mountages, which is also referred to as chandrika, they soon begin to spin their cocoons. This takes about 3 days of constant motion of the head from side to side at the rate of about 65 per minute. The cocoon is formed from the secretion from two large silk glands, which are transformed labial glands or transformed salivary glands. Okay, these extend along the inside of the body and open through a common duct of the spinneret on the lower lip. As the clear viscous fluid is exposed to the air, it hardens into a silk fiber. So, the completely enveloped larval case made up of secreted thread is known as a cocoon, which looks like a reel of silken thread. Okay, now each silk gland extrudes a fine filament of pulpy material called as brin or fibroin, and two such brins are stuck together by sericine or silk gum in the spinneret to form single continuous fiber known as the seric bane, which is about 500-meter long and 0.02 millimeter wide. Temperature and humidity influence the speed of spinning and quality of the silk. The cocoons are oval and vary in color according to the strain or the race of the silk moth used. The color may vary from white to beautiful golden yellow. Okay, so the silk spinning activity of silkworms is a physiological functions by which larvae probably get rid of excess of protein acquired from the mulberry leaves during the period of their growth. The cocoon also provides protection for the developing pupa. The pupal stage is generally the resting and inactive stage of development, or uh, during this phase the organism or the pupa is incapable of feeding and appear quiescent. This stage is a transitional phase during which definite changes takes place. That is, the internal organs undergo a complete change and assume the new form of adult moth. The mature silkworm larva passes through a short transitory stage of prepupa before becoming a pupa. During this prepupal stage, adult organs or the dissolution of the larval organs takes place, and this is followed by formation of the adult organs during the pupal stage. Soon after pupation, the pupa is white in color and soft, but gradually turns brown to dark brown and the pupal skin becomes harder. The prominent morphological parts visible on pupa are a pair of large compound eyes, a pair of large antennae, fore and hind wings, and the legs. 10 abdominal segments can be seen on the ventral side, but only 9 are seen from the dorsal side. 7 pair of spiracles are also seen on the abdomen. So, the smooth wrinkled body of the larva shrinks in size and develops scales and hairs all over the body. In the adults, the mouth parts undergo regression and digestive system undergo atrophy. So now let's move on to the next stage, which is adult. After completion of a pupal development or pupal stage, the adult silk moth emerges from the cocoon. Within the cocoon, the pupa shrinks in length, and in about 10 to 15 days, a full fledged moth emerges through an opening in the end of the cocoon. The cocoons from which the moth emerges are called as pierced cocoon. And these pierced cocoons are low in value because they cannot be reeled, but they are carded and made into threads. The ashy white moth has fat body and wing expand or wingspan of about 5 centimeters. It takes no food and rarely attempts to fly, but has high capacity for reproduction. The external features are already described to you, are already told to you. And if the adults copulate in captivity, the female will lay eggs within 24 hours. So this is all about the today's practical, in which we have completed the morphology of Bombyx murray or the silk moth, and we have also completed the life cycle of Bombyx murray. And with this, thank you so much for listening the practical.